Welcome, friends. The night was cold and silent, with raindrops still rippling across the lake. A homeless girl, shivering in her torn clothes, walked slowly along the shore. She was weak, hungry, and tired, yet her heart was still alive with kindness. Suddenly, a desperate cry broke the silence. "Help me!" Her eyes widened. In the middle of the lake, a man was struggling, his body sinking under the dark, freezing water. For a moment, fear held her back. She had nothing, not even the strength to fight the waves. But then her heart whispered, "If I don't save him, he may never see another sunrise." Without another thought, she threw herself into the icy lake. The cold pierced her skin, her breath quickened, but she kept swimming. With all her might, she reached him, pulling his unconscious body toward the shore. Her arms trembled, her chest burned, but she refused to give up. At last, she dragged him out of the water. Exhausted, she collapsed beside him, her wet hair clinging to her face. She placed her ear to his chest. There was a faint heartbeat. With trembling hands, she pressed on his chest, whispering, "Please, please don't leave this world." Moments later, the man coughed, water spilling from his lips. He opened his eyes, weak but alive. The girl's heart filled with relief. She had saved a life. But then, her gaze lifted to the glowing mansion across the lake. Its windows blazed with golden light, a palace of wealth and luxury. Her breath caught when she realized the man she had just saved was the owner of that mansion. Tears welled in her eyes. She, a homeless girl who had nothing, had risked her life for a man who had everything. Fate had tied their lives together in a way she could never have imagined. Like, subscribe, comment on and share. My channel name is Soul of Kindness. Welcome, friends. The man slowly opened his eyes, his body still weak from the near drowning. His gaze fell on the girl beside him, her hair drenched, her lips trembling from the cold, yet her eyes filled with courage. "You saved me?" he whispered, struggling to breathe. The girl looked away shyly. Anyone would have tried, but deep in her heart, she knew not everyone would risk their life for a stranger, especially for someone who seemed to belong to another world. He tried to stand but nearly fell. Without thinking, she wrapped her weak arms around him, steadying his weight. Together, they walked slowly, step by step, toward the glowing mansion across the lake. The golden lights flickered like a dream, so close, yet always out of reach for someone like her. As they reached the gates, servants rushed forward in alarm. "Sir, what happened to you?" one cried. But the man's voice was firm despite his weakness. "No questions now. First, bring her inside." "She saved my life." Her heart skipped a beat. Inside? She had never crossed such doors before. All her life she had been unwanted. People pushed her away, doors slammed shut. But now, for the first time, the gates of a grand mansion opened for her. They entered the hall, its chandeliers sparkling like 1,000 stars. She lowered her head, embarrassed by her soaked dress and bare feet leaving. Watery footprints on the marble floor. "I don't belong here," she whispered softly. The man looked at her with deep gratitude. "Tonight you belong here more than anyone, because without you, I wouldn't be alive." Her eyes filled with tears. For years, she had lived as if invisible, but in this moment, she was seen, truly seen as someone who mattered. And in the warmth of the mansion, she felt something she hadn't known in a long time: hope. Like, subscribe, comment on and share. My channel name is Soul of Kindness. Welcome, friends. Inside the mansion, the warmth wrapped around her like a blanket. Servants hurried to bring towels and blankets, but the girl stepped back nervously. She had never been treated with such care before. The man, still weak but steady now, spoke firmly. "Give her food and dry clothes first." The servants exchanged surprised glances. Never had their master spoken with such urgency for a stranger. Soon, a tray was brought forward filled with hot soup and bread. The aroma made her heart ache. How many nights had she gone to sleep hungry, dreaming of just a simple meal? Her hands shook as she lifted the spoon. Tears rolled down her cheeks before she could stop them. She whispered, "I can't remember the last time I ate like this." The man watched silently, his chest tightening. This girl who had nothing had given him everything, his life. After she had eaten, he led her to the grand fireplace. Flames danced, casting a golden glow across her tired face. She sat quietly, staring into the fire, afraid that this was only a dream that would fade away. But then his voice broke the silence. "You may think you don't belong here, but you do. This mansion, my wealth, none of it would matter if I had died tonight. You gave me a second life, and for that this home will always be open to you." Her eyes widened, her lips trembling. For the first time in her life, someone powerful didn't look down on her. He lifted her up. A smile broke through her tears. That night, in the heart of the mansion, she felt a truth she had long forgotten. Sometimes kindness turns strangers into family, and sometimes the weakest moment becomes the beginning of the strongest bond. Like, subscribe, comment on and share. My channel name is Soul of Kindness. Welcome, friends. The night had grown quiet again, but inside the mansion everything felt different. The girl sat by the fireplace, wrapped in a soft blanket, her eyes wandering across the grand room. She had never seen such beauty. Golden chandeliers, tall curtains, shelves filled with books she could only dream of reading. But despite the richness around her, she felt out of place. Slowly, she whispered, "I don't deserve to be here. I'm just a homeless girl." The man, now dressed in dry clothes, walked closer and sat across from her. His eyes were steady, filled with gratitude. "Do you know what I saw in the lake?" he asked softly. She looked at him in confusion. "I saw death," he continued, his voice heavy. "And then I saw you. The world may have ignored you, but to me, you were an angel sent to save me." Her lips parted and tears blurred her vision. No one had ever spoken of her that way before. All her life, people had seen only her weakness. Tonight, someone saw her strength. The man leaned forward. "From this moment on, you will never be alone again. This house is not just mine anymore, it's yours too. Because the one who saves a life deserves to live one full of dignity and love." Her heart pounded. Could this truly be happening? A mansion that once looked unreachable was now being opened to her, not because of pity, but because she mattered. She pressed her hands to her face, sobbing quietly, overwhelmed by emotions she had long buried. The firelight shimmered against her tears, and in that moment, hope was reborn in her heart. That night, under the roof of the mansion she once thought was a dream, she finally felt something she had never known before. Home. Like, subscribe, comment on and share. My channel name is Soul of Kindness.